How do you add sexiness to your dancing? Now this is a great question and I get it a lot because I find a lot of guys actually have great dancing ability. They know some fantastic dance moves and they're really talented. But one thing that they can't quite grasp is how to add that sexiness to their dancing. Because as male strippers, that's really what we want to be doing. We want to be showing a bit of talent, a bit of flair, but at the same time, we aim to seduce. And so we want to add that element of sexualness to our dancing. So if you're a breakdancer or a hip hop b-boy, I find those people tend to have the most problems because with their classes, they're strictly on technique and all about those big power moves if you're a breakdancer. But listen up, because these are going to be some really simple and easy steps to implement into your dancing that will completely change it and will completely change the way the audience is going to view your show. Sexual dancing is mainly seen in the popular Latino styles of dance. Everybody knows those Latino styles to be very sexual. And the one thing that all those styles do really implement well is fantastic hip movement. If you want to add that sexy element, you've got to think sexual movements. And the sexual movements really come down to the hip region. So having that sexy hip movement is really important. So make sure you know how to move your hips. If you know how to move your hips, you're going to seduce the women a lot more subconsciously. Without them even knowing it, they'll be thinking of sexual things. They'll be thinking about what you can do with those hips. If you can move them well, then you can move those girls emotionally. So I would recommend studying some Latino dancing, even do some Latino dance classes, definitely if you have the money, because learning that hip movement will get your grinding motions better, and it will just form the base of all your basic male stripper lap dance moves. Second tip I would say would be hip thrusts. Now once again, this really comes back down to those sexual movements. Doing a really nice fluid, slow and controlled hip thrust is basically just like having sex with the air. All the girls have to do is kind of just put themselves in that position with their imagination while they're watching you on stage, and voila, they're immediately getting turned on. So if you're able to do very sexy, slow and controlled hip thrusts, then your dancing is going to get a lot more sexier. And last but not least, body rolls are also very important. So being able to show that flexibility. When doing your body rolls, make sure that you do them once again slow and in control, and take your time when you do them. Don't rush them, because I think that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people do when they do their body rolls. They rush the body roll, and that can do the opposite effect from what you want to be doing. Okay? So sexy dancing, if you're struggling to implement that sexy element, then maybe take a few steps back from doing those one-handed handstands or those technical jazz steps or whatever other cool steps you might have learned in a hip-hop or breakdancing class, and mix it up. Start adding some of these sexy elements, because whilst the talented dancing stuff does look cool, they can go watch the Jabberwockies or they can go watch a hip-hop competition. If they want to see that, that's where they'll go. But they're watching you because you're a male stripper. And if you can show them that and some sexiness as well, then you're doing your job.